It's when God wants that person to be there, and it may be in a store or
Right.
you know, a camp or something that I'm doing for them. That somebody will understand that I am there for my kids, and
Yeah,
so
that's awesome. Thank you. So, before we go to a break, because we have a couple minutes before we go to break, let's just start to talk about one of the things that you told me is that people don't really understand the expectations and what you have to go through on a daily basis, and especially as a single mom, because I mean, we know that single parenting is hard no matter what is going on. You have to be mother and father, the sole supporter. You have to be their everything, their psychologist, their counselor, their taxi cab, their, you know, everything. And we do it with joy, but you know, then there's the other stuff added in the mix. And I want to get a real picture of like what it really takes for you. You were telling me that you ran into somebody that reminded you what you all used to do.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about that in a couple minutes.
I was pregnant with Stephen, and or with Chris. Yeah, I was pregnant with Stephen, and I needed help just to go shopping. So a young girl, a neighbor friend, helped me at the store because Christopher was really hard when he was younger. He would just run around like any toddler, but really active. And the mom called me the other day and said that she was sitting next to a man on the plane whose child had autism, and said, "You need to contact my friend." I remember everything that she used to do, and it was early intervention. I mean, Christopher wasn't even 2. And she said, "Well, Lisa, I remember everything you did." I said, "What did I do?" She said, "I sat on the floor with a shoebox full of things that he would recognize. A red car, a Dora the Explorer cup, Christmas ornaments of certain things, and I would show it to him and say, 'What's this?' And he would say it. And that was part of the early ABA training, but I didn't even know I was doing ABA. I was just trying to get him to say words to me, because at that time he was so young. He would just take my hand and bring me to a door open or juice, and couldn't say the word. He would bring me and just point to what he wanted. So I would have everything there in that box that he was familiar with, and we'd go over it every day. And she said I would do flashcards, and I did so much early intervention. I don't even remember half the stuff until she reminded me. So I'd never, even going to the store, part of the autism is social therapy. Every time we go to the store, I would say, you know, say hello to the person, acknowledge them. I would try and make every event, the bathtub, a teaching environment that he didn't even know. Every toy had a reason for being the toy. It was maybe he didn't have good fine motor skills, so it was one of the Velcro toys where you have to cut it and open it. So
that must have been neat to reconnect it and bring your mind back to the everything that you used to do. Now, what about today?
Now today you would not really even know. All the time people are always coming up to me and saying, "I didn't even know that he had autism." And that's just music to my ears. So when I say to them, you know, keep the faith, your child is going to be able to talk. And you know, there is a spectrum, but he is extremely high functioning. And I could never accept that when people would say he can't do this, you know, he can't do that. I would never accepted that. I always said, I told him since he was little, you're going to be an engineer or an accountant, and or a toy builder. A lady told me that Lego company, he loves Legos.
That store is so cool. Have you seen it?
No, I'm going to take them there. I'm dying to take them there.
I have Lisa Pangalos with us, and we're talking about single parenting with special needs children and everything that takes in time, energy, money, and all of that. Thanks again for being here. We were talking a little bit about all the different things that you would have to do, especially early on, to help your son. One of the things I wanted to do, and I loved what you said about not accepting when somebody would say, "Oh, he's not going to be able to do this or not going to be able to do that." And I have to say, I have a special place in my heart for that, because my nephew actually has Down syndrome, and my sister was the same way. She would, in fact, when he was born, 1 pound 10 ounces, and everyone said, "Oh, he's going to have all these heart problems, all this stuff." And so we nicknamed him Hercules. I've never met such a strong boy in my whole life. He can wrestle down my 7-year-old. Like, he is, and he's 5 now. And I mean, he's ginormous and he's awesome. But my sister always did that. She always refused to put him in the special needs class, or all those things. And so I love that you said that, because it does make such a difference. And he's done everything that they've said that he can't do. Like, and he's about to go potty training. So, you know, it's just great stuff. And so I love what you're doing. So today, what I want to know is, what is, let's just take a walk through a typical day of your life. What does it look like? What, you know, what time do you have to get out? Like, everything that you have to do. I just want to know, because I'm guessing it's probably a lot.
It is.
Okay, go.
I wake up at 5 or 5:30, but the night before I leave everything out. They wear uniforms, so I even thread their belt. I put the socks out, the shirts out. Every single thing is laid out. The coffee maker is already ready to go. It's my first thing, is push to go. And that kind of also makes me feel like I have a butler in the house too. I just have to press the button. And I have their lunch is completely done. All they have to do is put the water, the fruit, and I get myself completely ready, shower, hair, makeup. Sometimes the makeup is done on the way driving. And I have every single thing done, so that when they wake up, their milk is done, their breakfast is laid out, and it's always a, come on, let's go, hurry up. And get them all ready. And I wash Christopher's hair in the morning, even though they both get baths at night. Get them out the door to school, and sometimes that could be a feat. It's been a horrible feat in the past. I have to say, we've made huge improvements. Christopher was 3. I used to have to carry him out to the car, carry him into the school. Now he is running into school. So that's a feat in itself, and that he likes school. The same with my youngest son, Stephen. He likes school now. Last year was difficult, and I was trying to get him diagnosed correctly, and that's, you know, another issue. But then after school, getting them to school, get them in the building, and then for me, it's getting ready and, you know, job hunting and
all of that.
And running around to do all the errands without them, because they tire easy. They have a very long school day. When they come home, it's cooking. I can't just give them, you know, walk into a restaurant, because I limit the, you know, the foods that they can get. And now they can take a shower on their own, so it is getting easier.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is, but I have to watch them. You know, we are in an apartment, and it's nice, great, I love it, but I still have to watch when they're out playing. I can't just let them, because there's bullying issues and things like that. But that's with even typical children. So, but
it's hard. You have to deal with that too.
Yes. So, but it's a long day, and there's no rest for the weary. And then by the end of the night, for me to try and settle down and rest and check emails and get on every different autism website that I go on to try and research and figure out what's the newest camp or the newest, you know, breakthrough with autism. He's in a study.
Well, what would you say to people who are hearing this diagnosis for the first time? What would be the first thing they should do?
Start researching on the web. The key is to get them diagnosed before 3. Because that's through the county. After that, you're going to have to go through every different doctor and social worker, because it's a whole long day process and a lot of observation. You can't just walk into a doctor and they look at the child, and unless it's severe autism, and say, oh, this child has autism. That's not how it works. The child needs to be observed in the home by a social worker or a trained therapist. They need to be observed if they're in a preschool. You need to see a neurologist. The county provides all of that for you. So the key is, and I don't care if they're a month before 3, that's what happened with me. I had to run around like a chick without a head and make sure that he was diagnosed through the county.
So we're talking about a lot of doctor's visits, a lot of research. Now you have a blog up, right, that will that kind of lists a lot of these that you can actually that
people can write in and ask me questions, and I can refer them out to where in their area where's a good speech therapy program, occupational therapy program. Doctors, even dentists that are understanding of our children.
Oh, wow. So even if it's not necessarily an autism group,
but
just personal dentists and professionals that you found that really relate well.
Yes, neurologist, even a pediatrician. We'd been going to the same pediatrician for years since Stephen was born, and then we switched, and the pediatrician didn't understand that you know, a child with special needs is not going to respond sometimes as quickly as a typical